Folks, welcome into the right side of campus. Today is June 11, 2018. It is Monday after a interesting weekend of sports there. Had a lot of stuff closing out yesterday. The NBA over the weekend closed it out. The NHL late last week closed it out. The Triple Crown closed that out as well. Interesting day in sports. Big Man on campus will be my coach today. Big Man, what's going on today, brother?
What's up, Donnie? How are you?
Hey, doing good. Welcome into the show. Of course, everybody, if you know, right side of campus here, do it each and every day, Monday, Tuesday. Actually, take the day off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Set you up for the day. Recap what happened over the weekend. If you haven't done so yet, give us a follow here on the YouTube channel. Every single time we go live, hit that subscribe button there. You'll get a notification. Follow us on Twitter at SBR Sports Picks. Get all the latest going around in the world of sports and also gambling related. And folks, once again this week, Intertops. Sportsbookreview.com. We are promoting Intertops as the book of the week. Sleek interface, great payouts, good odds. Check out Intertops, the promoted sportsbook of the week. I'll be your host today, as I said, Donnie Rightside, with my partner in crime, the Big Man on campus. A lot to get through to today, but Big Man, first off, how was your weekend, man?
Very good, Donnie. Very good. Just normal weekend. Didn't go to the shore. I'm gonna go this week, but how about you?
No, I had a good one. Finally got a nice winning day on yesterday on a Sunday. Went out, had a nice Italian meal, Jeff, headed towards the shore. It was rainy, but hey, when you're making money sometimes, finally, Jeff, don't mind a little bit of rain in your day out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it rains every day, so I mean, it's not really, again, I don't mind it once in a while, but it rains every day, so I mean, it's got to get nice at some point.
Yep, live links are out there, folks. Retweet if you like the show. Give us a little bit of feedback down there. Hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down. Let us know you're here. Check in here on the live chat board. That's what this show is all about. As always, we will start today and this week, Jeff, with the Monday morning headlines out there. And we start with Saturday. Seemingly, Jeff, wire to wire, an easy Triple Crown run here for Justify.
Yeah, no, Justify was very good. Looked like the best horse you've seen in some time. I mean, ran hard. Really wasn't threatened a ton. I mean, even in the Belmont Stakes, the longest track of them all. I think it was like 6 wins and 6 races over the last 100 days. Very impressive stuff. Look, I've made it clear I'm not a big horse guy, but listen, anyone can be impressed by that. That was quite amazing. We'll see him, I'm sure, again as well. He's going to race again. I'm probably not in this kind of thing, but we'll see him again. No, impressive stuff, man. Good for him and all the people. I saw videos of all these people at the Belmont Stakes that were betting, and all I heard was justify, justify, justify. So looks like the bookmakers got hurt as well on that.
Yeah, no, when the favorite's going to win 3 straight times, Jeff, in the Triple Crown, and a heavy favorite coming in nonetheless, a lot of people are going to tie it in there. And how about this? An interesting one in that race, Jeff. We're all laughing, though. Gronkowski's horse starts out in the back and way back. We're like, what a buster horse out here that Gronkowski gets into. And all of a sudden makes his claim and goes all the way up to second place in the race, closing late in that one. Also a little bit, Jeff, of intrigue. Another one of Bob Baffert's horses they're claiming was used as a bodyguard in that race, just to run out and block a couple people into the railing so they couldn't compete or get after Justify in a timely fashion to start that race, Jeff. What do you think? Maybe a little bit of shenanigans in the race?
That's truly possible. I mean, I wouldn't. They do it in NASCAR a lot. Where they'll have cars that will help other cars that are on teams and stuff. Yeah, listen. I mean, it's part of the game. I mean, I don't. I've never heard of that in horse racing, but hey, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, I guess, sometimes. And Baffert's smart. He knows that. There's a reason he's the guy. Does that guy ever lose? I mean, it's amazing. Every race, it looks like he's the leading trainer. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it happened. I mean, good for them. That's smart. I would do the same thing.
No, you're right about it. And again, look, Jeff, we haven't seen this type of, teammate workmanship since what? Shake and bake back in the day in Talladega Nights. So, look, if you're going to have two horses in the race, one with no shot to win and one going for history, wouldn't you really set it up as to say, look, your job is to not win this race. Your job is to help out this horse to win the race at this point in time. So I don't have any problem with it. We've seen it in the past with, I believe it was when Birdsong won the Belmont out there. He had another horse, or another trainer's had a horse to try to run. Was it Barbaro back then, or was it who was it? Smarty Jones to run Smarty Jones out, tire him out, and then somebody would catch him from behind. Happens all the time in Triple Crown racing, especially if one of the horses or stables, Jeff, owns two or more horses. But neither here nor there. Great run there by Justify, wire-to-wire victory. Nice Triple Crown out there. But I got to say, Jeff, Triple Crown used to be one of those things like the unicorn out there. Like, you didn't see it. You might see it every 35 years. Now we've had two in the past 3 years. Is it losing a little luster for you, Jeff, watching the Triple Crown?
Um, I mean, no, not really. I mean, I don't really. I mean, frankly, it doesn't bother me too much. I mean, it's great to see. It's cool, but it's kind of becoming a little bit more frequent. I guess if it happens next year and the year after, I probably won't be. I won't care as much, but it's difficult to do. I mean, it's hard to navigate three different tracks, three separate places, three separate possible weather scenarios. No, I think it's still pretty cool.
No, you're right. And the one good thing about it is, is anybody, outside of just the party atmosphere person watching the Belmont Stakes on a Saturday night around 6:30 if there is no Triple Crown out there or Chopper Triple Crown?
No, probably not.
Yeah,
No one
I didn't
cares.
think so.
I mean, and that's the thing. I
No.
mean, that's the thing about horse racing. I mean, no one cares generally about it other than, 4 or 5 weeks out of the year. It definitely throws some excitement into it with that as well. And, on Saturday, I mean, like you said, I mean, there were a lot more people watching it than not watching it. And people wanted to see that kind of thing. So,
No,
yeah,
I
I
enjoyed
think
it
it's cool.
thoroughly. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it thoroughly there. By the way, bringing back up an off-topic point, which not in the early morning run lineup here, Jeff, is New Jersey dragging its feet, losing a banner weekend that you could have had at the racetracks to both double down on what NBA basketball, and Major League Baseball there, and also get the Triple Crown betting out there. Dragging its feet, New Jersey, almost a month or probably about a month that sports gambling was struck down. The PASPA agreement between the United States and the sports league struck down. And still, Jeff, we can't walk into a casino and place a wager just yet.
Yeah, they're horsing around, as I would try to connect that to the race. I mean, they're horsing around here with this, and I don't know when they're going to make this, the first, kind of thing on the desk. I don't know what's taking so long. I think it's pretty frustrating, frankly. I mean, you have, all this talk about how quickly they're going to get up and running, and the bill's going to get passed, and here a month later, we're still sitting here. We're wasting time. You had a horse race over the week. You get the World Cup coming up. We have to keep in mind New Jersey's one of the most culturally diverse states in the country. There are a lot of people that would bet the World Cup. There are a lot of people that would frequent these books. You got summer getting going here. Time is now, especially you can get the kinks out before football. I'm not sure what we're waiting on here. If I'm Governor Murphy, this is one of the first things I'm doing. Make this happen. But you know what, Donnie? If you're a sports betting guy, you're someone that's waited for this. I guess you have to wait a little longer. We've waited long enough, right? But yeah, it's pretty irritating because like for me, like I go down to the shore all summer off and on, and like I'd love to go down this week. Like I go down to watch, I'll go down and watch the World Cup. I'd love to go there Thursday, Friday, and put my bets in, but they're dragging their feet. I don't know what's taking so long. This should be the first thing they should sign immediately.
Yeah, no, getting back to a little bit of, a little bit older than most people in here. Back in 1992, Jeff, just to give a little background of how ridiculous New Jersey, government is, so to speak, state senators, House reps, and governor. In 1992, the United States gave New Jersey a reprieve and said, all right, you have 6 months to get your house in order, pass your gambling bills. You can have sports gambling. You'll be grandfathered in along with everybody else who's already in there, Las Vegas and whatever. 6 months goes by, Jeff. They don't approve the bill. So either one, it's negligence and complete incompetence, or number two, the checks cleared into certain people's accounts to strike that down. Because in 1992, you would have had a massive stronghold. I can't even imagine what Atlantic City would be today if gambling was approved in 1992 as one of the few states, Las Vegas wise, outside of Nevada, that could have sports gambling, single games, parlays, whatever you want. And they couldn't get it through in 6 months. It's just a travesty here. I'm just waiting, Jeff, day to day. For some reason, the governor, with everything passed through there, just says, you know what? I'm just going to veto the bill because, somebody donated $1 million so we can have a gas-free drilling somewhere offshore, and it's not good for sports gambling. Don't put it past New Jersey out there, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's kind of getting irritating at this point. I guess we'll see what goes on this week. You would think, over the next few days this should happen, but It seems like I remember when it was first being talked about. I mean, we're every month. Well, we'll be this month. Nope. We'll be this month. Nope. Um, Not surprising.
No, best job in the world is to be a politician. You don't have to do anything. You just have to talk up there, be bombastic, don't get anything done, take illegal donations behind the scenes, make some power moves there, or make sure people stay in power and you get paid and live off the public dollar for the rest of your life. It's fantastic. We all should have been politicians out here instead of sports gamblers. Next up, Jeff, I'm going to bang on the Mets a little bit here. Adrian Gonzalez, as you see. Late last night, if you didn't hear, Adrian Gonzalez was designated for assignment from the New York Mets. Also, another key piece is that Jose Reyes, obviously, playing awfully poorly for the Mets, but I believe he is a dollar store cheap guy where somebody else is picking up most of his salary. So now the Mets are saying, well, we don't want to cut Jose Reyes because how much he's meant to the organization. We would like him to announce his retirement so we can have a special day for him and honor him as a Met. Jeff, what the hell is going on in New York, man?
I don't really understand why you got rid of Gonzalez. I don't really get that part. I mean, you only owe him three
He's
hundred thousand
awful.
dollars. I mean, no, all the Mets are awful. I mean, it's a veteran on your team. Jay Bruce has
He's
been
not, yeah, but
worse.
he can't
Michael
move, he can't
Conforto's
hit,
been
he
worse.
can't field. Yeah, but I'd rather have
I mean,
Conforto. At least he's younger and can at least run. I mean, Adrian Gonzalez
listen,
serves zero purpose in Major League
listen.
Baseball. Zero.
Let me tell you something. The Mets have more bigger problems than this. This is just continued cost cutting by a cheap organization that doesn't want to pay anyone. That's the end of the day. This whole lineup sucks. There's no one here that's worth their weight in gold. Cabrera, he got injured last night at one point. All their pitchers get injured. They're just a wretched organization, and they actually think they have a good lineup. They think their lineup is fine. They'll be okay. Keep in mind their two best hitters are the worst hitters on the team, and Bruce and Conforto. I guess. I mean, do what you got to do. I don't know, but like, where's Yoenis Cespedes? Is he ever going to play? I mean,
Yeah,
does it not
by the
look
way, he
like?
came back over the weekend, Jeff, in his
Oh,
rehab
I know.
stint, and his
Yeah,
quad
injury.
tightened
Yeah,
up. So now they said they're
sure.
going to reset the time process out there. But if Cespedes comes back, does that make everything better for the Mets? I mean, Lugo and DeGrom are out here just throwing gems nightly, it seems. Two of the better pitchers over the last month and a half in baseball. But if you can't score more than 2 runs, it doesn't matter what you do out there.
This team is an absolute mess. Yoenis Cespedes is milking this. He doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to play for this team. Look, I mean, I don't know what else to say about the Mets. They're a mess. Just cutting out Adrian Gonzalez. I mean, it is what it is. Uh, that's most of the Mets lineup, though. What he does, that's most of them.
Now, Jeff, it's been known. Guan even says it out there. Cespedes has been known to play golf while he's on the DL, like strained like rib cage. But Ioannis is getting in like 36 holes on a
He
Tuesday
stopped
while he's
playing.
supposed to be injured. Now, let's take a look at this, Jeff. Is it any circumstance that I don't want to come back to Major League Baseball just yet because we might be on the road. I want to milk this another week because Jeff, the U.S. Open is right across the way on Long Island in Shinnecock Hills. Is this a ploy by Cespedes that he loves golf so much that he'll delay his rehab just to make sure he's home for this?
No, he stopped playing golf last year. That was reported by the different like New York Post. They it was kind of like the David Price thing. He stopped. He stopped from what I've heard. He doesn't play golf anymore. I don't know, but as far as him going to watch golf, maybe I would. I don't think. I mean, I just think he just doesn't want to play. I mean, you know, I think that's kind of what it is.
Maybe he wants to jump on the floating party this week that Tiger Woods is going to bring up here. Dustin Johnson with a nice victory over the weekend, Jeff, getting back to #1 in the world. A lot of those guys out there, top players, sharpening their knives for the U.S. Open. Tiger, again, a no-show because he's ready to play in the U.S. Open. Everybody knows that. So we'll see it again, Jeff. If you didn't notice, I'm wearing red today, as I stated in the chat box. Tiger's back, man. He's back. We're ready to go for the U.S. Open. Should be a fun week coming up here, Jeff. But also on the horizon here, and there's an off topic. We usually have a couple different things here on the chat there. You see under MLB tonight, off topic. I don't want to bring this up yet, but we're going to go over. It is World Cup week, Jeff. Your level of excitement here. What's good with the World Cup, man? What can we look forward to, number one? And number two, what day does it actually start this week for us?
World Cup gets going on Thursday. It's the first game, Russia, Saudi Arabia. Then the big day will be Friday. That's when all the first round of games will really get going. You're very excited. I mean, World Cup always every 4 years. You don't see it often. I'm very excited for it. I put a lot of time into the World Cup. I'm very excited for it to get going and to have some fun with it. It should be a great tournament. there's so many good teams in this in this round, and you look at some of the groups. I mean, they're highly contested. Some are kind of undecided for me at least. Um, I'm really excited for it. You got some of the great stories with Egypt. Mohamed Salah. What will his status be? You look at the couple of the other groups. You got Argentina, Croatia, Nigeria. That's a pretty highly contested group. You're down towards the bottom with Colombia, Poland, Senegal. That's an interesting group. It's very fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing how Russia gets on with it and how everything shakes out.
Jeff, all right, keep it moving down the list. I mean, there's a lot of World Cup stuff to go over. It's a full. How long is the competition, Jeff? Is it a full month or even over a month by the time from the first game to
It's
the final?
a little over a month.
Yeah, so we got a lot of time to go over those games. The good part about it too, Jeff, is obviously it only happens every couple of years, but it's a nice reprieve because now you get out of NBA and NHL that have since been closed out. Now you at least get something else to look forward to carry you through the football season. And it's a month, which is great because you're just about a month away from like training camps and football really getting underway. So it's nice to carry that over. Last topic we're going to talk about today, Jeff, on the morning headlines. Interesting one popping up here from an interesting character, Jeff. I don't know if you've read it there. Kellen Winslow shopping is the tagline down there. But Winslow said he was shopping for a family member to buy a new house, but that's not what the neighbors are saying out there, Jeff.
Listen, I'm not going to make excuses for Kellen Winslow. I will say this. I think we're quick to jump to conclusions here because of what some nosy neighbor had to say. I know, for instance, Donnie, down at my shore house, where we are, we have a ton of neighbors that are complete dickheads, complete old pricks that want to stick their nose in stuff that has nothing to do with them. You might walk by their house at 2 a.m. and they want to they wonder what you're doing. Stuff like that. I don't know the story. According to the lawyer, he emphatically denies anything. It was in the middle of the day. Again, I know a lot of the times that's when burglaries happen due to the fact that generally people want to burglarize when they think no one's home. Um, Again, I'm not sure why Kellen Winslow would have to burglarize anybody. I know, I mean, he played in the NFL. I'm sure he's got money. His father's someone that played in the NFL. I don't know why he would have to do this. Again, we have to remember this is a black male walking around. I'm sure maybe the neighbor just called because she saw him. I don't know. As far as the Clifford and Red Dog thing, that could have been a very sarcastic way of saying, something. I don't know. Maybe he was on drugs. Maybe he was burglarizing. I don't know. It seems like a weird story to me. I don't really know why Kellen Winslow would have to burglarize a mobile home.
Yeah, it doesn't make it. It's first I mean, look, people live the way they live out there, and who knows who he's shopping for? If his mother-in-law, mobile home park, for a guy who probably, and again, I don't know, maybe he blew his money, maybe he doesn't have as much money, maybe he's just trying to help him out. Like, look, I'll get you into this nice little park over here, and we'll find your property. The one thing that I can't find in any one of these stories, Jeff, was the house that he went into actually for sale? You know what I mean? Like, if it's a for sale sign and hey, the realtor told me to go over and take a look, and I didn't know if anybody was home. Knocked on the door, nobody answered. I didn't know if it was empty or if it was like an open house where I can walk through. It almost leads me to believe, Jeff, that the house wasn't really for sale, but he was just in the mobile home park and just walking into the house. That's a key piece of evidence, Jeff, that's being left out right here. What gives on that?
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, Dottie, keep in mind in his entire career, in 10 years, Kellen Winslow made over $43 million. Um, I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But again, that doesn't mean he doesn't have money. He can blow that easily. We've seen that with some of the documentaries that have been put out. It just seems very odd. That's a good point. They haven't discussed. I would think it was an open house. I would think. I don't know. There should definitely be burglar if it wasn't. No, I mean, I
But
don't
yeah,
think
but
you can
also
just.
like I don't like why is he like why would you end up getting put in jail and have a $50,000 bail and be held 6 or 7 hours if like it really was like, hey, look, here's my agent. You could talk to my real estate agent who sent me to this mobile home park at this address and said it was an open house or the neighbors would be home and it would be no problem for me to walk through. It's a lot of fishiness going out there because I mean usually you could sort that type of stuff out, or if a cop gets called and said, look, man, the house is for sale, I'm checking it out. Like, yeah, no, that makes sense, but something doesn't ring right here over this. But I'm sure we'll find out over the next day or two. But just an interesting
I
thing
mean,
when you see like
Donnie,
Kellen Winslow arrested for burglary.
I look at it like this. Okay, my father's a builder. Okay, he has multiple developments. Let's say he calls me and says, "Hey, come up. I need you to. I don't know. Let's go to lunch or something. Come up and see me or something. I don't know. Or I go see him. My dad has multiple homes that are vacant that he could be in at some point. So I go up there, and some neighbor sees me up there. And she sees me rooting around with the key box. That could look like I'm burglarizing it. I don't know the situation here. This seems to me as one of the newsy neighbors that looked out and saw somebody, try to get into a home. Maybe the home wasn't visibly with a for sale sign. Maybe it just went on the market. I don't know. It definitely seems like an odd story. I guess we probably need to hear more. But
Yeah.
again, we have poor reporting here with these stories. This needs to be reported better. This should not be out there with this kind of information because it's lacking information. You're throwing this guy's name around like he looks like a burglar who's on drugs. He says he's looking for Clifford the Big Red Dog. That you're making this a much bigger story than it is. This needs to be reported better before it's reported. But unfortunately, in this day and age, they don't do that.
Yeah, you're right about it, but I think we're going to find out a lot in the next couple of days. This again, it just doesn't ring up. But if your father's a builder, Jeff, and you're rooting around the box, the cops pull up on the scene like, here, call my dad. He built this house right here. It's still up for sale. It's empty. Like I'm his son. Here, you can call him. We can get it straightened out. Most of the time, they will do that, but something just doesn't sound right, or maybe just Kellen Winslow just trying to throw the off the scent. Like I'm looking for my dog, or what are you doing here? I'm house shopping in a mobile home park. It almost sounds like if we were to weigh odds here, Jeff, and what happens, would you say that Kellen Winslow is just a big mix up and it will be handled over the next 3 days, or do you actually think something else?
Well, I want to make this clear. I don't know if Steve Mapp, is that true? It was a church friend. The house was a friend of Winslow's wife. Okay. I mean, if that's true, then maybe. As far as do I think he did this? No, I don't, because I don't know that he's ever been involved in any kind of legal issues. So I don't know why he would do this. Okay, I guess he was charged with possession and it was a synthetic marijuana possession in 2014. But other than that, no, it doesn't seem, no, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Made a lot of money over his career. Again, I know people don't, maybe they don't care about this, but his father was in the NFL. He's somewhat major name. I'm sure he could kind of oversee and take care of him a little bit. No, I don't think he did this. No.
I'm going to say a little bit of funny business. I'm not even going to say robbery at this point, Jeff, but I'm going to say somebody probably owed him something and he was going to collect on that debt. I think that you're going to find something out in the next couple of days, but just looks a little bit too shot. It was interesting news that popped up here for the headline. Some interesting fodder to talk about in the off season when there's not much to talk about here, Jeff. Let's slide down the ticker, Jeff, and let's put a bow on the NBA season, Jeff, as it wraps up there. LeBron took the easy way out. Look, man, I punched the blackboard. I think I broke my hand. I played the last 3 games with a broken hand. Don't fault me for the sweep out there. It's always nice when the NFL doesn't report any injury information, because there's a lot of people out there, Jeff, that were wagering on, hey, LeBron prop bets, or hey, LeBron's going to win a game, or Golden State's going to sweep at this point, or there's sweet odds on this end of it. So not knowing that the perennial superstar of the NBA had a damaged shooting hand might be something that the public would like to read into and maybe get a read on to see if he was actually hurt or what the story is at. But the NBA drops the ball on that one. But the Bron sweepstakes, Jeff, 2018 officially underway, man.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of teams that are going to be involved here. I mean, the Cavs, obviously, I think they're going to try to make a push and try to sign players that, to entice LeBron to stay there. Um, I think at this point, I really believe that they're gonna make some big news happen, and they're gonna keep him around there for some reason. I don't know why. I don't think he's gonna go back to Miami. The Lakers, I just kind of agree with you at this point. It's hard for me to think he would go to the Western Conference. Boston and Golden State are not happening. I think it's either Cleveland, Houston, or Philadelphia. We mentioned Houston. They're obviously on the West Coast. I don't really see that making any sense, but they do have obviously pieces that I think LeBron will want to play with. But I don't know how they can make that happen financially. Gabe Morency made an interesting point, Donnie, the other
Mhm.
night. And I've also discussed this. I'm not sure why he's not enticed to maybe go to one of these younger, up and coming teams. Gabe mentioned the Pelicans. I think that'd be an interesting fit, But again, the market is a bit smaller. I don't know if they're ready to win right away, but I have a feeling the Cavs are going to make some things happen. They're going to bring in some big time players, and they're going to entice them to stay. The question is the problem with Dan Gilbert past fixing? Um, I think it's either going to be the Sixers or Cleveland. That would be my final guess, and I have a feeling Cleveland will. He's already there. He already has his life there. He's from there. I think they'll make a push and do some things. At this point, it's hard to envision them not trying to do whatever they can to keep him around.
Yeah, no, for me, the whole Cleveland boat has already sailed for me. There's just no, but you can't like you're up against the cap. You can't bring anybody in. Dan Gilbert's going to pay 300 million, and LeBron's done with Cleveland, and they're okay with it. I think in Cleveland at this point, Jeff. Superhero came back to town, won us a title. We're forever indebted to you. Go out there and chase your title dream somewhere else because we know it's not going to happen here over the next couple of years in Cleveland. The best one I saw all weekend long, Jeff, when we're talking about the LeBron sweepstakes is somebody's putting out there that Russell Westbrook and his super max contract are somehow going to fit in with Cleveland. What an awful scenario to have Russell Westbrook play hero ball in the fourth quarter when LeBron needs the ball to close out games. There would be a double homicide in Cleveland, Jeff, if Russell Westbrook went there and tried to play with LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of different random things. Also, I mean, wouldn't I feel like if he goes to the West, I would look to go to Spurs maybe, play with Greg Popovich. That would be pretty dope, I think. But yeah, you're going to hear all sorts of things. Like someone on the chat saying he should go to Portland. He's not going to Portland. Come on, that's not going to happen. We'll see. We're going to hear all
If
sorts
he
of stuff.
did go out west, what's the one team that would make sense, Jeff? If he did go out west, what team for you?
Probably Houston.
Exactly. That's the only way. Which I still don't think he's going out west, but I like to see like, hey man, we're going to get him in the Lakers later. Like he wants to be in Kobe Bryant's spotlight out there with the Lakers and a team that's won, dozens of championships. It seems like he's not going to the Los Angeles Lakers. He's not going to Portland. He's not going down to play with the Pelicans out there. If he's going out, I could see sort of San Antonio because Pop all world coach. Maybe they pull some strings out there, get him the player he needs. Kawhi Leonard comes back healthy, and you add a piece there. I could see that. But then again, Jeff, if you're going to go to San Antonio, right, and let's just say Houston comes back as is, now you're battling Golden State and Houston just to get to the NBA Finals. That doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Sixers. I think they're the two. He's not going to Golden State. I don't know why they keep putting that out there. That will never happen. He's not going to the Boston Celtics either. They're out. Houston, I just don't see the Western Conference. So, and I don't think he's going to go back to Miami. So, listen, they're going to speculate. We're going to see more LeBron to this place. Make sure when you're retweeting stuff, it's a legit account and that kind of stuff. But we're going to see a lot of random shit, I'm sure. We'll see what happens. This is another interesting part of this summer, Donnie, as opposed to just baseball. You're going to have to figure out where LeBron's going to go as well.
No, in the end, the funny thing about it, Jeff, is the NBA season is so long from the time they open up training camp right through to the NBA Finals. The only good part about that is, Jeff, is everything gets condensed. Like we don't have to wait like in football, like you wait like a month and a half or 2 months for free agency. The season ends in football, first week of February, and you wait till almost May for the draft. In the NBA, Jeff, it's condensed over the next 2 to 3 weeks. You're gonna have free agency and the draft opening up. So you get that taste right away. You don't have to wait and say, well, where's LeBron going to go 2.5 months down the line? It's going to happen pretty quickly, which is fun.
Yeah, no, it is going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
All right. Anything else here on there? Golden State obviously faves to win in 2019, albeit if LeBron moves and makes a super team and goes to Houston and brings in, Russell Westbrook with him and Chris Paul stays and Harden stays. I mean, of course, any shenanigans like that, which aren't going to happen, Golden State's probably going to be the favorite out there. And my favorite one here, Jeff, Tyronn Lue talk in Cleveland. Without LeBron, is there a reason that Tyronn Lue stays in Cleveland? Now, get this, correct out here. Even if he gets fired in the NBA, you still get all your money as a coach, and he's made bank already. He's got his title. But I think he has 3 to 4 years left overall on his contract. But the point of Ty Lue still being the head coach after LeBron's going in Cleveland on that mess of a team if he does leave seems kind of funny to me. I'd really like to see it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they think down the road Tyronn Lue is going to be Eric Spoelstra. I don't know. I don't really see it. We'll see. I don't really know how to think about that without LeBron in Cleveland. I guess they'll have to figure it out. I guess he intends to stay according to them. But the whole odds thing is interesting because if you look at odds, they're telling you that the Sixers might be the favorites. Okay, because Donnie, you have a team that literally went from I mean, they didn't even make the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're the favorites to win the third favorites to win the championship behind two Western Conference teams. Because Golden State's always going to be the favorite. Houston's going to be the second favorite because they look like the second best team in the league. Cleveland's 25-1. What those odds are telling you are he's not staying in Cleveland. And if you look at the odds, he's going to Philadelphia. That's what these odds are telling you.
No, you're 100% correct on this. Sometimes you just have to read the tea leaves out there. And again, there's about 5 teams that LeBron technically could head to, but you're right, Jeff. You're going to start up that stream where, the retweets are going to come. LeBron was in the city of Philadelphia. LeBron was in the city of, Los Angeles. Well, I just spotted him on the Riverwalk walking down in San Antonio. So get ready for all these burners to happen. I just hope for the sake of everything that LeBron makes his answer and makes it known quickly as opposed to read the tea leaves. And I saw a jet down in South Beach and Dan Gilbert's jet was there, but he wasn't there. He was buying a mall in Miami-Dade County. All that stuff is going to come out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I remember the ones in Philadelphia, Jeff, where somebody was calling Philadelphia radio station saying, my sister is a postman in the city of Miami, and he just changed his address to Akron to get his mail. I love all this stuff.
Why on God's green earth would LeBron James go to fucking L.A.? Really? To play with all those young kids? It would be just like Cleveland. Why the hell would he go to L.A.? Oh, because he has a production company there? I remember hearing about that. Like, he's got a business there, so he's definitely going to go there. He ain't going to L.A. Or to play with Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart? I mean, come on. Julius Randle?
Why, Jeff, why does he just go to Chicago and just say, I've always wanted to be in Michael Jordan's city? You know what I mean? Come on. Like, you want to set a sort of a legacy pattern. The 2 worst franchises to do that with, Jeff, to me, would be where? Go to the Bulls and live in the spotlight or a shadow of Michael Jordan, or go to L.A. and live in that Magic Johnson. Like, they've been there, done that with superstars, right? That's why it was so special in Cleveland. Even when he went down to Miami, I know Dwayne Wade and Shaq, picked up a trophy down there. But when you look at that overall, sometimes you want to just set it aside and say, you know what? Commit run the table in Philadelphia. Or how about Houston down there? It's been a while since the Olajuwon Rockets. But the 2 teams I would not go to when you're fighting for your own legacy, Jeff, is the Bulls or the Lakers.
Exactly. As far as I always hear people, well, I mean, LeBron's not a fit in Philadelphia. How is he not a fit in Philadelphia? Explain that to me. Because I don't see a 2 or 3 player that I am in love with in Philadelphia. I mean, JJ Redick's gone. What is he? He's not going to be better than Robert Covington? Is that what you're telling me? How does he not fit in Philadelphia? I want to hear. I want to hear how he doesn't fit in Philly. Because Ben Simmons wants to be the point guard. LeBron says he doesn't want to play on the ball anymore. He said that in many different interviews. He'll play off the ball. I mean, it's no. I don't want LeBron to go to Philadelphia, so I'm going to make this up that he can't play in Philadelphia. Listen, Donnie, did I miss the memo that we didn't need a 2 guard in this town?
No, it's everything makes sense there because again, who wouldn't want to play? First of all, when you look at Ben Simmons, right? Most athletes in the NBA, Jeff, what do they want to do? They want the ball in crunch time and they want to score and they want to have unlimited opportunities. If you play with a guy like, let's just say Russell Westbrook, you're not getting the ball in crunch time. He's going to play hero ball all by himself. You're going to stand around and watch him go and you're going to be like, God damn it, pass the ball. Ben Simmons, Jeff, the exact opposite. Ben Simmons is going, you want 40 shots a game? I'll pass you the ball 40 times for 40 shots. That's the guy I'd want to play with.
Exact. Ding, 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 ding. Exactly. Ben Simmons doesn't want to shoot. That's why. That's why he's a fit. Give it to LeBron. I'll get you the ball. You want the ball? I'll get it to you.
We're down 3. I ain't shooting the ball. Yeah, you're down 3. I'll drive to the rack, but I'm not shooting the ball.
Daryl Lyles, do you watch? Seriously, have you just smoked? Have you been on drugs the whole NBA season? Philadelphia needs a point guard and a center. Really? They need a point guard and a center. I need Kim Kardashian blowing me. What are you talking about? They need a point. They have Ben Simmons and Embiid, dude. What have you been blind the last year? What on earth are you talking about, Lyles? Seriously. What, really? What is this guy talking about, Donnie? They have a
I don't
point
know,
guard
but
in the center.
I think that's the perfect bow in the NBA season that we can head into the off season
Exactly.
and talk about.
Let's move on
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
This is amazing. Why am I having this conversation? This is so
No,
stupid.
it should
This
be an
guy's
interesting summer though
serious.
with all that's going on in the NBA. So I mean, we'll see where LeBron goes. Drafts coming up, and then all of a sudden we'll be back into the season. Where's Paul George going? Where's everybody going at this point? So hopefully, the only thing I'm hoping for, Jeff, even if LeBron doesn't choose Philly, just make another super team out there, just so we can at least challenge Golden State, not let them rip off 5 more titles out there, which seems like they're about to do. So that's all I ask for the NBA. But as we slide it down, we get back into Major League Baseball and go over the recap, Jeff. And yesterday, 305. Take it to the house. A minus 305. Max Scherzer and the Nationals get shut out, and a big dog comes home for the San Francisco Giants, Jeff. They're getting healthy now. I like the look of that lineup. They're hitting. How about those Giants out there, Jeff, stealing another one down in Washington?
Oh yeah, big winner there. How about that? Landed. How about the Yankees lose too? Two big dogs went down last night, or two big
Yep.
favorites went down. Yeah, it's gonna happen, man. I mean, that's what's great about baseball. Um, Say that in my face, big man. I am. You're talking stupid, man. I mean, it's not anything about you seeing me in Vegas. What are you talking about? You're making comments that don't make sense. What do you mean if they don't have a guard and a center? What does that even? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Know your personnel on the teams before you come on and say ridiculous stuff like that. And I'll tell you that to your face if you want me to. They have a point guard and a center, dude. But yes, Dottie, you have to watch that in baseball. Make sure you're not laying those big numbers. It's not a smart proposition because they do lose, not guaranteed.
No, fun of baseball. You're right. Last night, Mets steal one. Lugo's been a very good starting pitcher, Jeff, for the Mets there. I can't see any reason why he doesn't stay in the rotation and go back to the bullpen at this point. They need all the help they can get. They finally got a timely hit, but quelled, Jeff, those Yankees bats yesterday. I believe it was the first shutout of the season for the New York Yankees. Severino was as good as usual, but the Mets were able to get those runs and hold on to the lead late in that one. Yankees go down, Mets win again. Because we always like to preface it by saying, Jeff, it's easy to bet these heavy favorites, but keep in the back of your mind, Jeff, the worst teams in Major League Baseball are going to pick up 70 wins a season. So it's nice to pick up those dogs, as we said, with that Nats going down at minus 305 with Scherzer at home, typically gives up nothing. Their offense couldn't get it going out there. And again, you see it with the Mets stealing one after blowing a couple leads previous in that series. But overall, nice win by the Mets. And, like Jeff, you can look at it this way. They sent Adrian Gonzalez off at the top of the heap, right? Beat the Mets on Sunday Night Baseball. What a way to go out, Jeff.
Yeah, only 3 hits for the Yankees. I mean, Andujar had 2, but it's gonna happen, Donnie. I mean, they can't score 6 or 7 runs every game. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, next up here on the docket, Jeff Nova off the DL with a W. Ivan Nova comes off the scrap heap in Pittsburgh, comes back, pitches a gem. Another decent sized dog comes in. I like the Pittsburgh team overall, Jeff. Sometimes you're just looking for steadier starting pitching, getting some timely hitting there. It's tough to win in Chicago, I get that. But they pull off a nice dog. Nova was great in that one. 7-1 final. Cubs go down at home. Pirates pull off another nice dog win on a Sunday.
Yeah, I mean they're tough to figure out. I mean they look great offensively early on. I know they're facing a lefty today. Generally they've been good against lefties, so they might be a team that kind of you get a couple wins together here, maybe back them today again. But yeah, I mean it's good to get Nova back. He's one of your better pitchers. They were very good yesterday.
Also, Jeff Martinez not ready yet. Now, if you're watching anything, this has been the trend of the weekend where the Reds open up as a dog and the line crashes all the way down, sometimes even into a favorite. You got another taste of that yesterday. But if you're reading the tea leaves in this one, it just wasn't, oh, look, it's a sharp play. We're just going to fade the public on this one. There was a couple, interesting, quotes going on out there about Martinez coming off the DL in his previous start, maybe not throwing as effectively or hard because he was afraid to get hurt again. That might have played into the line yesterday, and the Reds come up with a winning victory with a heavy public side going the opposite way with the St. Louis Cardinals over the Cincinnati Reds, but that didn't take place yesterday, Jeff. Sometimes those line movements do make sense, and it looks like it did yesterday.
Yeah, I thought we got a little lucky on Saturday with the line the way it was with Michael Waka. Sunday, I saw what you tweeted out and that kind of thing, so I kind of avoided that. And I don't have a lot of luck with the Cardinals, so I take what I can get from them. But Yeah, I mean that's not surprising. I mean, sometimes these pitchers, they come back a little too early or they're not ready. Um, yeah. What is this J Lo? I could
Did you see
what
it yes
J
you
Lo?
didn't see it yesterday?
No,
J-Lo is
no.
smarter, Jeff, than 99% of the people running Major League Baseball. There was a video yesterday where she was doing like on like a whiteboard with the marker and showing you like where baseball errors are being made and how the front offices should change and what they're looking for and not looking for. I was actually shocked to see that because I just thought it was one of those little funny things that she was going to do, Jeff. It's about a 3-minute video which showed me she's smart. She should take Joe Madden's spot immediately in Chicago. She should take the little pencil pushers, pocket protector guys out immediately in baseball and show them the wise ways of how easy baseball should be and how hard they make it out there, Jeff. Worth your while watching. She actually is very knowledgeable over that 3-minute
You
little
know what?
course.
You know what, Donnie? I'm not into girls talking about sports, so I'm gonna pass. But
I
I'll
used
take
to,
your word for it.
you're usually right about that. Same way as me, where again I joke about my wife doesn't know a hockey puck from a basketball, but it's just kind of funny to see like somebody who's not in the game know more than 99.9% of the people in the front office, Jeff. To me, it's pretty easy, right? To me, putting the ball in play is better than a strikeout. If you come into my office and I own the Philadelphia Phillies, and I'm going to hire you as a GM, and I go, you know what? Give me your philosophy on baseball. And they tell me, he's like, look, I want guys to get on base. I want contact hitters out there as well. I want us to play station to station baseball and play good defense. I'll say, you know what? That's pretty smart. Then you bring the pencil pusher in there with his 16 laptops and you ask him a question. He punches it up saying, it's better to strike out 3 times in an inning and have a launch angle of 16% than do anything else. I'm throwing you out of my office. Leave it with this, Jeff. J-Lo smarter than 99% of the front offices out there in Major League Baseball, Jeff.
I'll take your word for it.
All right, final, Jeff. Stripling is good. Stripling is great. Dodgers go out there. You lose Kershaw, Jeff. What do you do? Find another gem in Ross Stripling? A nice victory over the Atlanta Braves yesterday. Over the past month and a half, Jeff. One of the better pitchers in baseball holding the fort. Dodgers are starting to hit again. Can they avoid a formidable foe, Jeff, and hammer through the rest of the season and make a playoff run?
Yeah, how about Ross Stripling? He's from Bluebell, by
Yeah.
the way, Donnie. Ross Stripling.
What
He's
about
from
that?
the
Good for him.
area. Good pitcher. He's been very good. How about him and Walker Bueller? Both of them have been very good. Two opponents in 229 against Stripling. He's been very good. I mean, that's a great point. You lose Kershaw. Alex Woods kind of lost it a bit. But you come right back. Stripling and this Bueller kid have been very good. Good for those two. They've looked good, and they're starting to be the team to bet on again. Which they're starting to come around a little bit. Ross Stripling definitely be on my betting card.
Yeah, no, absolutely there. And as we move on to today, shorter card out there. Looks like Tampa Bay, Jeff's actually going to go with a starter today, which is good. So again, if you were running your Major League Baseball team and you had a GM that was looking to get the job and he said he had a great idea, Jeff, let's put a closer in the first inning and then have our pitcher. Jeff, would you hire that guy or would you throw him out into the Delaware River?
Say it again, Donnie. You cut out. Sorry.
No, that's what I'm
Wasn't
saying.
there.
If like Jeff, you were in charge again of the Phillies, and you said, you know what,
Right.
I'm going to interview this guy for GM, and his great theory was we're going to start the closer in the game and then bring in the starting pitcher. Would you A, hire
Uh,
him with a raise, or B, throw him in the Delaware River?
Throw him in the river. Sure.
There you
Actually,
go.
I'd do him one
Absolutely.
better. I'd throw him in the ocean. I'd take him like 7 miles out and throw him in the ocean. Then there's no way he could.
Yeah. It's just baseball. I mean, people just outsmart themselves all the time. Why is baseball that hard, Jeff? I mean, I don't know. It seems like one of the easier sports where you can say, you know what, this guy can play, this guy can hit, this guy can pitch, and I don't know. And you're going to get me on a whole tangent with Joe Madden starting Javier Baez in the leadoff role, one of the single worst guys in Major League Baseball, getting on base. But why not, Jeff? Let's just put him up first because he's obviously going to set the table by striking out. Why not just put the pitcher first overall, right? You know what I mean? Is it that hard?
It's not that hard. The fact that people really believe LeBron could play with Simmons is beyond hilarious. In the playoffs, having Simmons out there with LeBron would kill LeBron's game. He needs all-star shooters. Oh yeah, I mean, it would totally kill LeBron's game to have a guy that's just fucking nifty with the ball and could get him the ball any way he wants. That would be totally horrible for his game, wouldn't it? Um, Wake up. Wake the hell up. But you guys can have your opinion. Not a problem.
What the chat box is for, Jeff. Chat box is absolutely for opinions out there. Got a couple minutes left here in the show. We'll get to a little bit of baseball out there, Jeff. Giants and Marlins yesterday picked up a win on the San Diego Padres, almost no hitting that fantastic Marlins lineup at home yesterday. Now they're going to get a little bit of dose of Bumgarner. Coming off the DL, still a little bit shaky early on, but he's going against a severe pitching mismatch there. I mean, Chen is an awful pitcher, and I like the look, Jeff, of this San Francisco Giants offense now that they're getting healthy. They got some pieces out there. They can sit some guys down some days and try to play, that lefty-righty combination, which you're going to have with Chen today. But we're looking at a total, what? We got 152, 161, 158 out there, an over-under of 7.5. One of those which I would be looking for, because if you're looking overall game, and again, it's hard to go in that 150, 160 range, but trying to find some value first 5 innings, maybe they would be a look there. I think Baumgartner gets it together. That is a massive place with a bad hitting ball club with the Marlins. It seems like San Francisco will be the play to me, even though they're a heavy favorite here, Jeff.
Yeah, Baumgartner had his, kind of first start off the DL. Wasn't
Mhm.
great against Arizona, but you come back here, you have a bit better of a lineup to navigate against, and San Francisco's been pretty good this year against lefties. Should be able to hit Wei Yen Chen. Price is a little bit out of the realm for me, but if I'm looking, I'd look more towards the first five. Bullpens, especially San Francisco's. Generally, I don't want to involve myself with. You look good on the road. The San Francisco bullpen has an ERA over 5. But that also means you can't face that Miami bullpen. Yeah, I'd lean San Francisco here. It's a little bit out of my price range, but Baumgartner should be a lot sharper.
Jeff, Blue Jays shake it up yesterday, get a big time victory out there. Now, today we're going to be traveling down to Tampa Bay. We're going to have Gavilio and Yarbrough, Jeff. Looks like Yarborough's actually going to start the game and not come in the second inning. What an interesting revelation down in Tampa Bay to let your starter actually start the game and see if you could pick up the victory there. Gavilio has been pretty good, Jeff, throughout the season, keeping right-handed batters down. If we take a look at some of the numbers in this game, 64% are going to back Toronto. I guess, Jeff, they love the offensive explosion against those tough Baltimore Orioles. Line sitting at, minus 110, minus 112 across the board. So you're getting it cheap there. Over-under in most places sitting at 8.5, but looks like 9 has a lot of juice on that end, Jeff. But just, hey, Tampa Bay going with a starter today. That's a first step in the right direction for them.
Tampa is playing pretty well. I mean, or Toronto's playing pretty well. They've won 4 in a row. Tampa's lost 9 of 10. Listen, Donnie, there's a new rule in the show. No Tampa Bay
Yes.
Rays game, please. Please don't make me talk about this team. I have no idea who's ever going to pitch. Toronto for that matter
Snell,
is hitting
Jeff.
220.
Snell is the guy you
Well,
want.
yeah,
That's
he's
all. All
about
you
the
care
only
about
one.
is Snell.
Toronto doesn't hit lefties either. This game, Donnie, I'm honestly not even kidding. I would rather listen to Daryl Lyles talk to me about basketball for 3 hours than watch this game. That's how bad I don't want to talk about it.
Now, Jeff, one game I know you want to talk about here because, this is going to be a pretty good series coming up, and that's going to be a 10-10 game tonight up in Seattle. Angels versus the Mariners. Jeff, 61% of the early tickets coming in on those Seattle
Oh
Mariners
yeah.
out here. But it looks like about a pick 'em either way. So you're going to get a good line on this game. Over under 8 across the board. We can't say it enough. I mean, Jeff and I talk a lot off the air as well. Like, I bang on baseball teams for the way they're constructed and the way they play the game. Outside of the bullpen from Seattle, which again, your bullpen, you're going to get a crapshoot out there. I love the way the Seattle Mariners lineup 1 through 9 is constructed and the way they play it every night. They have components. Jeff, what do you have? Contact, you have power, you have speed out there. Love that lineup. Great series going to set up tonight, man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. I love this Mariner team. You and I have talked about them, and we want to be the first people to mention when you talk about the Mariners. Let them know Big Man and Donnie Wright said sent you. It's the Mariners in the West. That's what we're looking forward to. Mariner baseball. But I'm a bit concerned with tonight's pitcher, Wade LeBlanc. At some point, Donnie, I have to think Wade LeBlanc is going to come back to being Wade LeBlanc. You look at his FIP, 3.94. His ERA is 2.94. So eh, you also look at his BABIP. I know you like BABIP. That kind of stuff. It looks like at some point he's going to get touched a little bit. But Seattle is very good against lefties. I think they're hitting 265 and scoring over 4.5 runs a game. I like them in this spot. I like them at home here. I'm on them here. I think LeBlanc's a guy I'll continue to back. Like him against lefties. This should be a great game. You have a team that's good on the road against a team that's pretty good at home. It's going to be a fun series here.
Yeah, they're going to stack Angels, as we know, Jeff. They're going to stack right-hand bats against LeBlanc, but just those crafty guys up there. You know what I mean? Like outside of Felix, who somehow had a gem a week ago against the Rays, got blown up over the weekend like he should. I mean, he's at the end of the run. But the guys like Gonzalez out there, LeBlanc, even Mike Leake is out there getting solid starts. Those crafty pitchers that are just have good control out there, throwing the ball over the plate, making you hit it. And again, Jeff, we're talking about Seattle up there. You don't, you can get away with a lot of bad pitches because that ballpark is so big and the ball doesn't carry there where it looks like it's working out. But I'm a big fan of Seattle, same way you are. We'll see what takes place, but I thought that was an interesting game. Last game we'll talk about, Jeff. Pirates and the D-backs tonight. Musgrove's going to go out to the West Coast to play Corbin. Now all of a sudden the resurgence of the offense for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pittsburgh picks up the win yesterday. I didn't like the way Musgrove looked last time out versus the Dodgers. He picked up the loss there. Stripling was very good on the opposite end for the Dodgers in that game. But now you're going to have Corbin. Two decent pitchers on the mound tonight. Another good game tonight for a Monday.
I'm looking under the number here. I know they've been hitting the ball lately, but I have a feeling Musgrove will bounce back. Was it lefty on lefty here, I believe? Musgrove didn't pitch particularly well. He only gave up 3 runs, though. I mean, it wasn't like a 7 runs over 5 innings or something. I think he'll be okay. He should be able to navigate an Arizona lineup that has mostly been pretty bad. We know they've had trouble in that humidor a little bit. I'm going to lean under in this game.
No, it should be a fun one. I'm looking forward. Finally, a decent Monday night card to try to chew on some numbers out there and see what's what. I mean, you do have the games out there, Jeff. A Dylan Bundy start at home. We all know that's going to work out. Jack Flaherty, which got raked in his last game out. He's going to go against Lyles in San Diego. Chicago, Milwaukee's a good one, Jeff. Your boy Gurra's on the mound tonight. So a decent card for us. I mean, look, what do you got? 8 games, 7 games on the card. Sometimes they stick us like a 5 spot on a Monday, just make us deal with minus 260 lines with the Yankees. But overall, Jeff, looking forward to the Monday card. We should have some fun. Couple minutes left. Let's slide it down over there, Johan, for the final topics of the day, which we're going to go to off topic. World Cup times. Jeff, you know me. Look, I'm old. I don't like to stay up late, but this might work into my favor here. Obviously, the games are going on in Russia. Going to be a lot of early mornings, 8 a.m. action in this World Cup, Jeff, which I liked it when it was in like Brazil. You had those central time or those normal time zones for the United States. But now you're going to be getting a lot of your action early in the morning. And especially, Jeff, if you're on the West Coast, 5 a.m. soccer games, kind of tough, man.
Well, look, I mean, they're not too early. I mean, you're gonna have 11 a.m. You're gonna have 4 p.m. You're gonna have 1 p.m. I don't know what you mean at 8 a.m. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I didn't. Maybe they're. I guess these are. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong times. I gotta check the U.S. times. I would assume they're 11 though. That's usually when they are.
No, it's 8
'Cause I
a.m.
believe.
It looked like the majority of them were like the latest game was like maybe one was like a 2 o'clock game Eastern time, but the majority seemed to be like 8 a.m. and early in that time range.
Yeah, it might be possible. I have to look. I didn't even see the times. Yeah, I mean, look, that's kind of the thing about soccer. Sometimes, you'll root for a team. Let's say you root for Arsenal and you live in Australia. I mean, it's going to be weird timings. I think people are generally pretty used to that. But yeah, I mean, it's Russia. I mean, it's going to be way ahead of us. So, yeah, I mean, that's part of the game.
Yeah, no, it could be worse. Jeff could play it in the middle of the night somewhere, but at least it's going to be morning. People will be up and watching, and there's going to be a lot of fervor for these type of games out here. But we'll see what happens. No NBA, no NHL, Jeff. And again, we talked about it early in the show. It's just nice to have the World Cup there. I'm not a soccer fan, but again, I'm a fan of big events, Jeff. I'm not a horse racing fan, but I'll watch the Triple Crown. I'll watch the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont if there's something in it. We're going to be live on the air, Jeff, a lot of these shows with World Cup soccer going on, so we'll have some fun kicking it around. And again, it's a great bridge to football season. Once the World Cup is wrapping up, Jeff, you're going to have football underway there, training camps, mini camps, getting after it. So should be a good summer for us to carry through here at sportsbookreview.com and have a lot of fun with it. But I'm looking forward to it. And again, World Cup soccer fans like yourself, Jeff, doesn't come around all the time. And every 4 years for the World Cup? So I know you guys will be digging in and enjoying that for sure.
Yeah, very much looking forward to it, man. I will say this. Listen, there's a lot of people out there that are World Cup experts all of a sudden that don't watch soccer at all throughout the season. They couldn't tell you what team Cristiano Ronaldo plays on, but for some reason they know about World Cup. Make sure you are well aware of what and who knows about soccer. I would make it very important to mention if you followed me, Stuart, Martin, Alex, Natalie, you know, uh, Flash, Nigel. If you followed us, I think you should know where you got to go for your stuff. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are going to be out there that think they know what they're talking about. Make sure you go and get the best information from the right people. Even if you don't like me, go talk to Flash or Natalie or someone like that. They'll steer you in the right direction. Any possibility of World Cup betcasts? I'm not sure. Unfortunately, betcasts are tough
It's
because
hard for soccer,
you
man.
know plus, like I would love to do it, but the problem is like a lot of people's TVs. Some people are ahead, some people are behind. It's hard to get the TVs on point perfectly. Um, New York City goes nuts for the World Cup. Yeah, no, that's a good point. And that's why I wish they had betting in New Jersey right now because it'd be sweet to go over there for like the day and just watch the games and bet on them. You guys should talk about World Series of Poker this summer. I will. I watch poker. I play poker a lot. I'm sure. I don't know what we could talk about, um yeah, I mean I would love to talk about it. I'm actually glad I didn't get to hang out with you, Teddy. Settle down, Borquin. Listen, I don't like his opinions with basketball, but he's an okay chap, I guess. But other than that, we'll wrap it up. Everyone have a great day. Hopefully you enjoyed the show today. And to Daryl Lyles, settle down, Lyles. Just because I don't agree with your opinion, doesn't mean you have to threaten me in Vegas. But if you can come say hello if you're out there. You're gonna get mad at me over. You're gonna beat me up because I didn't like your LeBron points. I don't know. Other than that, have a great time. Thanks, Raul. Appreciate that, man. Very nice of you to say. I thank you. Donnie thanks you as well. Thank you, Raul Rogers. Everyone have a great night. We will be back tomorrow. We'll talk more World Cup, all sorts of good stuff. Make sure you join us for that. Everyone have a great day. Bye bye.